Hi guys, it's Beth. Welcome to my channel, Bourbon Creek Crafts. I recently received this fun pack of craft vinyl from a company called Eagle Vinyl, and they make all different kinds of craft vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, and transfer sheets. And they sent me this fun pack to try out and play with, and so I just wanted to share with you what I received, and then we'll come back later and kind of show you some of the projects that I'm making. So first we just have some regular solid color vinyl, like some of these pretty pastels. And then look at these fun prints. Vinyl has come a long way since I started using it years ago. It all used to be like solid color. Now you can get a lot of great fun prints in just, you know, like the regular permanent vinyl. And so look at this, like holographic rainbow. That's fun. And then you've got this cheetah print with a shimmer, and then the mermaid scales. So those are super fun, and these are also, it used to be you could only get stuff like this in heat transfer sheets, but now you can get it just in the regular vinyl. And then they also sent me some specialty craft vinyl. So this is white, but it is sun sensitive. So I believe it turns purple once it's exposed to the sun. So this will be fun to try and figure out how to play with. This one is heat sensitive. I think these are both heat sensitive. And so they change colors too based on, you know, heat, body temperature. Like if you put it on a cup, it would change based on the temperature on the liquid inside the cup. So this one starts out like this metallic green, and this one's a pink, but I think this goes to purple, and that might, I'll have to look and see what color that one goes to. And then I also have a sheet of glow in the dark. So that will be fun to play with. And then they also included a transfer sheet to use, you know, to transfer the cut images onto my project. So this is all of the fun colors and patterns that I'm starting with, and I will use at least one from each of the like different categories, one sheet from each of the categories, and create some projects, and then kind of share with you what I'm making, the finished project, and then how it worked. So the first project that I am working on is just a binder that my daughter Ellie is using for social studies this year. And so I'm taking that cheetah print, like the holographic glittered cheetah print that she like fell in love with, and I thought that would go well with her yellow binder. But I did want to back it so that with a solid color, so it would kind of stand out a little bit more on that yellow. So I took the orange, which I originally thought was going to be peach, but the orange works just as well. And I created an outline that is just wider than my cheetah print letters. So it's just going to kind of be a backing and highlight that cheetah print even more. I'm not using the transfer tape for this one just because I thought it would be pretty easy to line up the letters onto the outline. And it was. The letters came off the backer sheet pretty easily, and I was able to line them up pretty easily. So I didn't want to waste the transfer tape for that. And then I thought about using the transfer tape to put the name on her binder, but because it's in two pieces, I thought I'm going to have to line them up separately anyway, and so I just decided to use a ruler and try and line them up evenly. And again, they came off really easily, so it's almost like working with some stickers. So I'm just going to add her name onto the top of the binder here. And both of the L's are a little bit taller than the E's. And then when I did the outline, the second L attached to the I, which is fine because I kind of liked how it just differed very well. And you can see right there I got a little bit crooked with my ruler, and I will come back in and correct that so that it's straight in the end when you see the finished product. But so with that cheetah print, because Ellie loved it so much, I also decided to cut some hearts and decorate the binder a little bit more. So I cut one big heart and then a bunch of little hearts. And you can see that the that cheetah print, it's actually clear, and so it's going to reflect the color of whatever's behind it. And that's why I had wanted to back it on her name, just so the name would stand out. But I think these hearts look just fine against that yellow. There is a little bit of a pinkish orangish kind of tone to the clear part, so it's not like a clear, like totally clear. There is a little bit of a hint of color on there. So I just decided to add the rest of the hearts, kind of bling it up even more. And then I did, before I when you see the finished product, you're going to notice that the hearts kind of got rearranged a little bit, and I did straighten up the name. But Ellie's super excited about her binder. So I did a project for Ellie. Next, I'm going to do a project for Avery. So Avery is my 8-year-old and is just obsessed with rainbows and unicorns. So I decided to take this holographic rainbow vinyl and create a unicorn decal. This is just a purple trash can that I had gotten off Amazon a while back, but it was plain, and so I thought I would dress it up for her room. So her bedroom is pretty much a rainbow of colors, but purple is her favorite color. And so I thought this holographic vinyl kind of coordinated well with her purple trash can. So I just used, this is a decal from my silhouette that I just kind of welded together. It wasn't two pieces. I just welded it together so it would create one decal. And I am just applying it to the front of her trash can. And I've never worked with like this. It's a stiffer holographic vinyl. And so I had a hard time getting it to stick to the trash can. And I probably should have maybe gone over the trash can with alcohol first, just to make sure the surface was clean. But the transfer tape stuck really well to the trash can, but the vinyl was a little bit stiffer. So in the end, I got it all to work. And I think it looks great, and Avery is super excited to have more unicorns and rainbow decor for her bedroom. So here I'm just kind of making sure, since I struggled to get the transfer tape off, I'm just making sure I got all of the bubbles smoothed out. And so there is her rainbow unicorn love trash can. Next up, I'm doing some personalized products for both daughters. These are just some water bottles that I picked up at Dollar General. So you can see they were $6 each. And they're really pretty. They've got like that rose gold lid on the top. So this is that holographic vinyl. And Ellie loves kind of like turquoise and blue. And so I decided to give her this bottle, and I thought this vinyl coordinated really well with the color of her bottle. So I just used, it's called Ravi font, I think is what I used from my silhouette, and cut out her name and just oriented it vertically. And then I'm just going to apply it to the front of the water bottle. And so this time I did use a transfer tape because of the curved surface of the water bottle. I wanted it to help me kind of get it lined up well. So here again, I do struggle with the holographic vinyl for some reason. I've never used the holographic before, and so it's just trickier for me. It's probably a learning curve. So I loved getting the chance to try out some specialty vinyl. Kind of gives me some different projects that I can do from what I'm used to doing. So I finally get her bottle straight, and I'm just using my scraper to make sure that the letters get on the bottle. I'm not necessarily worried about the bunching in the tape because it is a curved surface, but the letters are straight. So here is Avery's bottle. Hers is pink. And so I'm using the heat or the temperature sensitive vinyl for this one. It's pink. And then once, like, the pink will still stand out from the lighter pink of her bottle. And then once you get something that has a like hot or cold temperature in the bottle, the letters will change. So it's kind of cool to, like, if the bottle's only partially full, like the differentiation in the color of the letters. She really enjoys that. So again, just making sure that the letters are down good on that curved surface. Giving it a little extra scraping and pressure there to make sure that everything's going to stick. Take my transfer tape off. And her bottle is finished as well. So here is what the bottles look like when they are empty. And then you can see the change in color of Avery's name there on the right, from pink to purple. Next is, this one is not a personalized project, so it's not for either one of my daughters, but I decided to play with the glow-in-the-dark vinyl. So I thought this would make a something cute for a boy's bedroom. So I decided to go with the dinosaur theme, and so I found like this, I think it's a brontosaurus from the Silhouette Studio. And I just kept it simple with the dinosaur shape. And then I decided to add the message, "You are," and then it's supposed to be like, "You are dynamite." And so I knew I kind of wanted to have the dino and the mite stand out in the glow in the dark so that when the lights are off, you still see dynamite. But then when the lights are on, you see like the full message. So it's kind of like a two different decor pieces in one, depending on whether the lights are on. So here I'm just applying the transfer tape to the dinosaur and making sure it is down. And then I am applying it to, this is just a 2x4 that was cut down and painted white. And so it's like 4.5 inches tall by 3¼ inches wide. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the dinosaur kind of there in the middle. And then we'll kind of work in the wording around the dinosaur. So once I get that dinosaur down, and I will say like the glow in the dark vinyl, it is nice and thick. So that one was pretty easy to work with. It went on well, we did well. So I'm going to go ahead and put transfer tape on the word might, but I'm going to trim it down just so I don't have so much excess tape to work with. And I'm going to use like that last piece and go ahead and apply it to my other words as well, kind of reuse that tape as much as I can. And I'm just trimming the tape down so that I can kind of place my words on and without having all that excess tape to work with, because you'll see that for the words "you are," I kind of lay it out a little bit before I put it down for good. So I decided to go right there in the center with the word might. And again, I'm going to apply it. And the next for the words "you are," I was trying to figure out if I wanted to I kind of wanted to stagger them. I didn't want them to be like in line with each other. So I'm going to put the "u" a little bit higher than the "r." Kind of there above the dinosaur's head. And this is, I don't remember the font name, but it's kind of like a fun font there. So it almost looks like somebody, kind of hand wrote the "you are," like a fun kid's handwriting type font. And then for the "r," I'm going to put it over the dinosaur's back, but a little bit lower than the "u." And then just make sure everything is rubbed down really well. And there is our finish block, and because it's going on wood, which is not a smooth surface, I'm just making sure that the vinyl is down and as smooth and burnished as much as I can so that it will stick to my little block. So here it is in the light, and then I found a dark room and put it in there so you can see it glow in the dark as well. So this next project is just a really quick little project. I decided to play with the light sensitive vinyl this time. So this is the one that changes in the sun, like from the UV rays of the sun. So I decided to create a little bin here for our sidewalk chalk, and because I thought that was trying to think of something that would be like inside, maybe in the garage, and then outside so you could see the difference in the color. So I thought the chalk would be perfect because it's stored in the garage, but they use it outside. So it goes on white, and it's got like a hint of like a pinkish purplish color there, and then when you take it out to the sun it goes dark purple. So this last project is a little more involved. I'm going to be making a sign, and so I have a piece of plywood that's kind of my sign back here, and then I have some scrapbook paper that is kind of mimics ocean, like the tones of the ocean. So I'm using some Mod Podge to apply to my plywood backer, and I'm also applying it to the back of the paper, and then I'm going to apply this paper to the plywood, and that will be the back part of my sign. And so I'm just applying my Mod Podge. I'm using some wax paper there to try and keep my desk surface clean, and then I'm just using a sponge brush to apply the Mod Podge. So this is like a scraper tool, and it just helps me smooth out the bubbles. And so I'm starting from the middle and working out, and again that's pushing all of the air bubbles and excess glue out to the edge. So you see me kind of wiping that off here periodically, just so I don't spread glue all over the top of the surface as well. So I'm going to keep working at this to make sure it is as smooth as possible. And so you see it has some tones of like aqua there, and then it's a little more clear at the top. So almost like if you were in the water and looking up, you know, like the water gets a little more clear as you look towards the top of it. I'm just fixing the spot there on the corner to make sure everything is going to go down flat. And I'm actually going to be applying a frame to this, which you will see here in just a second. And this is just a frame I found in our wood stash. I think it came from my dad. Like my dad made it years and years ago, and it's got two little hooks on it. So in the backer, we just cut the piece of plywood to, you know, fit the backer. And so you could use any kind of frame for this, and a picture frame even, and you wouldn't even have to use Mod Podge. You could just, you know, use the paper as the back of the frame. So I'm using two different vinyls on this project as well. I'm using that mermaid scale, kind of holographic, glittery vinyl for the mermaid tail. And then I'm using that turquoise, just the regular turquoise vinyl for the wording. So once I get my tail onto the transfer tape, I'm going to add it to that backer board there, and I just want to put it at an angle kind of towards the top. So I'm trying to figure out spacing, you know, with the wording as well. So I'm going to burnish my tail down really well, and I'm going to peel off the transfer tape, and it didn't affect my paper at all. Like the paper was just fine. So I'm going to reuse that piece of transfer tape and size it down to fit the phrases that I have, mermaid and then at heart. So I'm going to put mermaid on first, and it's going inside the mermaid's tail there. And this is also an image from my Silhouette studio. So I had a little bit of trouble getting the vinyl to stick to that transfer tape. I don't know if it's because I had reused it. And so I'm just putting mermaid kind of right there in the center of the tail. Burnish that down. Peel off my tape. And then I will also use the tape for the at heart. And the words at heart are kind of offset from each other just a little bit. At is just a little bit higher than the heart. I kind of had to rearrange the wording a little bit so that it would fit onto my sign. Again, just making sure I'm rubbing hard enough that I'm going to get those words to stick to the transfer tape. And now I can apply that to my board there. And I was just trying to make sure before I put that down for good that it was all going to be seen within the frame that was there. And then once it's down, I will peel off the transfer tape and go over everything one more time just to make sure it's going to stick really well. And then I do end up coming in and sealing this with some more Mod Podge. I do 2 coats of Mod Podge and then 2 coats of polyacrylic to seal it. And you do still see the shimmer from the tail even after you seal it. But I wanted to make sure, since I was using paper and vinyl, that everything was going to stay down. So I'm going to attach my frame off camera, and here it is on the wall. You can still see the holographic details within the tail, and the shimmer and the coloring I think works really well. Okay, here is what I have left, and overall I have to say this was great vinyl to work with. It weeded easily, it cut well. I used my normal vinyl cut settings on my silhouette, and for the most part it went on really well. I have not used holographic vinyl before, and so for some reason that one was a little bit harder for me, working with the transfer tape and then getting it on my projects. But that is probably user error. It was just a little stiffer. But all the projects were really fun. These were fun vinyls to use, like glow in the dark and light sensitive, temperature sensitive, super fun. One thing I will caution you about is when I originally showed all my colors, I thought this was more of like a pastel peach. I didn't realize that there was a clear film over it, which kind of gave it that pastel look. So it ended up being more of an orange, which is fine. It still worked with the cheetah print that I used on LA's binder. And then it even worked out because I was trying to figure out what I was going to use with this glow in the dark vinyl on the Dino block. And so the orange went perfect for that. So that worked out well. But I do want to caution you that on some of them, there is a clear film. There was some on the holographic vinyl. So just be aware of that. Check that before you cut it or anything. But the transfer tape was okay. It didn't seem to stay sticky for very long, and I had a hard time working with it with this holographic vinyl. That may be user error since I'm not used to the holographic, but that would probably be my only issue with any of this, was just I had a hard time with the transfer tape. So, but anyway, I want to thank Eagle Vinyl for sharing all of these products with me, and I would like to also share these products with you. So if you have a electronic die cutting machine, something that can cut vinyl, I would like to send what I have left to you so that you can also try out their products as well. There are 2 full sheets as well as like 4 mostly full sheets and then a couple scraps, and there's 4 of the specialty vinyls that are left that you can play with. And this unfortunately is for US residents only because I do have to mail these. So if you live in the US and you have a machine that can cut vinyl, let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite thing to add vinyl to? Please don't mention giveaway anywhere in the comments. This is kind of a hidden giveaway, but I would like to share this so that someone else can also try out the Eagle vinyl as well. But again, in the comments below, just let me know what you love to apply your vinyl to. What kind of projects do you normally use vinyl on? But I want to give a big thank you to Eagle Vinyl for letting me try out their products. All of the products I used in the video today, all of their vinyl products will be listed in the description box below, as well as their website, so you can check out what else they have to offer. And I want to give a big thank you to you all for joining me again today and for your time. I hope you all have a very crafty day.